Imagine waking up tomorrow to a world where everything you own has become worthless. Not devalued, not inflated, completely, utterly irrelevant. You check your phone, your heart pounding against your ribs. Your digital banking app shows a balance of 0. You refresh it again and again, but the screen remains a mocking, empty void. You rush to the ATM, your breath hitching, only to find a line of silent, shell-shocked people staring at a dead terminal. It isn't a technical glitch. It isn't a weekend maintenance outage. It isn't a temporary blackout. In a single, silent moment, the collective illusion we call money has shattered. The digital ledgers, the paper promises, the plastic cards, they are all gone. What happens next isn't just an economic crisis. It is the beginning of the most primal test humanity has ever faced. Welcome to the day the currency died. Money is a trust-based fiction. We work, we trade, we build empires based on the silent agreement that a piece of paper or a digital ledger holds value.
When that agreement evaporates, the physical reality kicks in. In the first hour, it's confusion. In the first 12 hours, it's panic. By the first 24 hours, the global supply chain ceases to exist. Why? Because the modern world is not built on physical gold. It is built on the lightning-fast movement of data.
Shipping companies don't work for free. Truck drivers don't deliver fuel without the assurance of payment. Cargo ships carrying grain, medicine, and machinery sit idle in ports. The crew's wondering if they will ever be paid to move again. The intricate web of transactions that powers international trade has been severed.
Hospitals run out of medicine within days because the digital transactions that move medical supplies have evaporated. Water treatment plants, reliant on automated chemical supply orders, begin to falter. The electricity grid, which requires constant, real-time balancing of energy market transactions, begins to oscillate.
Your modern life is a series of interconnected, automated payments. When money dies, the digital veins of our civilization are sliced open. The psychological transition is brutal. In the first 72 hours, the human mind struggles to comprehend the absence of the medium of exchange. People try to negotiate. They offer double, triple, 10 times their savings for basic necessities, only to be met with the cold, hard reality. The currency you are offering is just ink on paper.
The grocery stores are emptied within hours. The panic is not about greed. It is about the sudden, terrifying realization that the value you spent your entire life accumulating was always just an abstraction. The people who were once wealthy are now just as hungry as the people who were once impoverished.
There is a terrifying equality in this collapse. As the neon lights of the financial world flicker out, humanity is forced to regress. We do not go back to the Stone Age, but we do go back to a barter system. However, this is not the poetic, simple barter you read about in history books. In a modern, specialized context, barter is a brutal, inefficient, and maddening nightmare.
How many loaves of bread is a top-of-the-line smartphone worth? What is the trade value of a wedding ring in exchange for 5 gallons of clean water? When there is no common denominator of value, the entire concept of a fair trade vanishes. The value of objects shifts instantly. Luxury items, the status symbols we spent our lives chasing, become the most worthless things on Earth.
A gold-plated Rolex cannot keep you warm. A sports car cannot feed your children. Those who survive the first month are not the people with the most digital assets or the most extensive stock portfolios. They are the people with hard assets. The ones with land, seeds, reliable tools, and the skills to survive outside the centralized system.
What does this do to the human mind? We have defined ourselves by our net worth, our credit scores, and our career trajectories for centuries. Suddenly, that entire status hierarchy is obliterated. This causes a total cognitive collapse. Society relies on the fairness of exchange. Without that fairness, the social contract breaks.
We see acts of incredible, selfless generosity, yes, but we also see the darker, primal side of human nature. When the systems that regulate us are gone, the laws that govern us become mere suggestions. The fear is not just about hunger or shelter, it's about the loss of identity. Who are you if you aren't your salary? Who are you if your savings account is a fiction? The psychological weight of this realization is often heavier than the physical reality of the hunger. History has given us glimpses of this nightmare. Look at the Weimar Republic in 1923, where people burned stacks of money for warmth because the paper was cheaper than firewood.
Look at the collapse of the Soviet Union, where the life savings of millions of people vanished, forcing highly trained scientists and engineers to sell their personal books and clothing on the street just to purchase bread. These were localized, contained collapses. They were painful, they were brutal, but there was always an exit.
There was always another country to flee to, another currency to use. But if money disappeared overnight, globally, there is no outside. There is no safe haven. We are all trapped on this sinking ship together, if we survived. And that is a massive if. What would rise from the ashes? Would we build another system of money?
Probably. It is in our nature to create abstractions, to simplify the complexity of trade. But the next system would carry the trauma of the collapse. It would be defined not by the desire to accumulate endless wealth, but by the desperate, clawing desire for stability. We would build an economy based on tangible, immediate value. We would look at our resources, our water, our food, our energy, with a level of respect that we have completely lost today.
The irony is that it takes the destruction of money to realize that money was never the source of our wealth. The source was always our labor, our resources, and our ability to cooperate. Money was just the story we told ourselves. Today, you worry about your stocks. You stress over inflation rates.